Good afternoon. Today we are going to make keto pancakes in our kitchen. My name is Frank. My beautiful wife is behind the camera. Her name is Serena. We're Frank and Serena. Now I'm making keto pancakes, and they call for almond flour, stevia packets, 2 of them, cream cheese, a little baking powder, and 8 gorgeous organic eggs. Also, if we want, we can put a little cinnamon later. If we want, we also have butter, organic butter. Cinnamon.
It's not organic.
It's Kerrygold.
It's Irish.
Irish. And we have the cinnamon. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to put 2 cups.
1 cup plus 2 tablespoons.
Oh, you said 2 cups. Okay.
No.
1 cup plus 2 tablespoons.
We're doing a double recipe.
A double recipe for these pancakes. Yes, I did wash my hands before. I may end up having to wash them again. So this stuff's going to be all over the place. Let me get one of these measuring cups to help me smooth things over. Okay, now 1 cup, and then you said 2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons.
1. 2. Here. Okie dokie. Now we're going to put in cream cheese. I love cream cheese. I hate opening it up, but I love cream cheese.
It's been sitting out on the counter for a little bit so it can soften.
Yes, you want it soft so it'll be easier to use on the mixer.
The recipe says to put it in a blender and blend it up, but we're going to try using a mixer instead to see how it works.
It's because of me. I'd rather do it in a mixer than a blender. But I'm just one man doing what I can for my family. Let's go.
Don't use that. You're going to use it. Never mind.
It's okay. It'll be fine. Put that there. I'll get that rid of that later. Okay, now we're going to put in the...
Put in the powdered stuff first.
The baking powder. How much did you say we needed?
A tablespoon, but you dirtied the tablespoon.
Oh, wow. Well, let's fix that.
Or you can get the half tablespoon and use it twice.
Fine, I will do that. Half a tablespoon. What's this right there? And my wife is always correct with these things.
Now the recipe says the baking powder is specifically to make the pancakes more fluffy. It is not required in the recipe.
Exactly. I think this can will be about half it. I think there won't be very much left in this can. We're done with it. That being said, now how much cinnamon do you want to use?
A teaspoon, so you just put a couple of dashes in there. It'll be fine.
Dashes. A little more. I like cinnamon.
Cinnamon's good for you. It helps fight inflammation and lowers the blood sugar.
I'm going to put the stevia in, 2 packages. Of course, the recipe calls for
a teaspoon, and we're doubling it, and these packets are pretty close to a teaspoon.
Yes. Now we have the eggs, which we will take care of. Give me 1 second. I use this for the eggs. We're going to use a little bowl to put the egg in. And once I do that, the egg in there, grab it, put it in here. It's a little trick my wife has taught me, which I don't know why, but wife knows best.
Because my mother once put all of her eggs into the main mixing bowl, and there was 1 egg that wasn't good, and it ruined the whole dish.
I remember that story now that you have mentioned it. I've actually never run into that issue. I'm not saying I won't, but a good baker never gives looks a gift horse advice in the mouth. Oh, this is awesome. Now, I'm halfway there. Got 4 left. Get a little sticky.
And we're saving the eggshells to feed back to the chickens, so they have good, strong eggshells.
Yes. And so far, all these eggs have been good. Here you go. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we go. We're going to try it out on 1. Up it a little bit. 1, 2. Here we go. It's important that we try to get as much from the bottom as possible. If there's any residual cream cheese stuck to the bottom,
Or the flour.
or flour, or anything else that might be stuck that causes a clot. I call them clots. They're little clumps. My wife gave me the technical term. The clumps. You don't want clumps. Okay, we're gonna start. We're gonna put the griddle on. I usually do a higher temperature to start off with so it'll get the butter going. So I'm going to put it at around 325. Use my spatula. It's easier for me. And just slice it down. And then I just wait for it to start melting. Once it's good and melted, I'll put my dollops. I usually do 4 and then 4, so roughly 8. Since I'm making them small, I want to put 4 on each side of the griddle. Between 6 and 8.
The recipe recommends making smaller sized pancakes with this recipe because they're, the consistency is better.
I myself like a good size pancake. It doesn't have to be extraordinarily big, but to make the most out of this, we'll make them a little bit bigger than silver dollars, probably around that big. They'll end up being very delicious and very tasty all the way around. It looks like we're just about ready. Once I get started, I'll probably lower the temperature down to about 300. So, here we go. May end up making just 3 on either side. I'm making it 6 all the way around. Yeah, maybe more, maybe less.
I would do 5.
5's a good number.
Otherwise, they're going to touch.
Yeah. It's always good to have a napkin handy so that if you have any drips, it'll catch it. And
They're going to become Siamese pancakes.
Oh, they won't touch. If they do, it'll just be minimal right here. But overall, they're roughly good sizes. The consistency will be good. If anybody doesn't know how a pancake, when it is ready to flip over, if you notice in a little bit, you'll see a lot of little dimples in the pancakes themselves. When you see a whole bunch of them throughout all the pancakes, that means the bottom is cooked enough to where you can flip it over. If you don't see any, that means it's not ready. It's still liquid. I learned that the hard way. I used to be very impatient doing pancakes, and I would always do it and try to flip it, and it would not turn out good. But I've been making pancakes for a good 10, 15 years, and I've learned a thing or two. Now this is a different consistency than I'm used to. I don't know if you can focus in on that one. You can see some of the bubbles starting to come up. And the rest of them will do the same here in a little bit. There'll be little bitty ones throughout. When you see a whole bunch of big ones, that is when they'll start being ready for the flip. That's what I like to call the flip. That was a good angle.
Thank you.
Some people like to put extra stuff on it while they're cooking. Later on, when I get better acquainted with these keto pancakes, I'll make bigger ones, and sometimes I'll put sausage or bacon inside of them and let them cook inside the pancake. They're very delicious. That way you can have your pancake and your bacon or sausage, whichever you prefer.
Just make sure you pre-cook your bacon or sausage.
Pre-cook the bacon that way, and your sausage. That way it'll be ready. So when you put them in the pancake, they won't be wrong. We don't want that. It looks like they're getting ready here a little bit.
So they do make sugar-free pancake syrup, which we forgot to get.
Yes.
We do have some agave syrup, but it's lower in carbs, but it's not necessarily the best thing for you. So you could put some berries on it for flavor, or if you can find a good sugar-free whipped cream, it's best if you whip your own.
See? This is what happens when you try to flip it too early.
That one
It starts coming apart. Okay, here we go. We're going to try one flip. Ready? There we go.
So if you use berries, you have to not use too much. 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of berries total is all you want to stay low carb. Now this one's kind of broken.
I can flip it.
Good job.
It's all about the recovery. Now we'll give this one about another 45 to a minute, and then they should be ready. You don't want them to get totally burnt, so you got to check the consistency by sticking your spatula underneath. I know a lot of people that do pancakes, they know that. But on this side, you can't tell the bubbles. They don't have bubbles on this side. So what you're going to look for is when you try to flip it, if it starts moving, that means it's getting ready to flip over onto your plate. I've had a plate here so that we'll be ready to put some on there. The thing is, you don't want them to be white on the other side because they have the look of not being done. You want them to be a little brown, a little golden. That way there'll be consistency on both sides. And the butter adds to the flavor as well. When you put butter on it, it just makes it taste so much better. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. What do you think?
Looks good to me.
All right. Okay, let's put that one on. All right. All right. Here we go.
So some of these pancakes are getting a little bit lumpier, getting toward the bottom of the recipe. You can see that it's starting to get a little bumpy. So we're going to blend it up again, mix it up again.
It's the cream cheese. That's all it is.
All right, so this is a double batch. There's a little extra butter slathered on top. So, 1 double batch, 5 stacks. We have 6 people. We're going to make another batch just to be safe. Make sure everybody gets plenty. You could have bacon and eggs, sausage, ham, whatever you want on the side. We like doing breakfast for dinner, don't we, Daddy?
Yes, we do. And right now you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 that'll make out of a double batch. If you'd have made one batch, it would probably make a lot less than that. But seeing as how we didn't make them as big as we really wanted, this is about right.
But with this recipe, if you try to make them bigger, they won't turn out right. So we need to make them a little smaller.
A little bit bigger than this would have been all right. Not gigantic ones like you see at Denny's or IHOP. But we are going to make another batch just so that we'll be able to have plenty for everybody. Thank y'all for visiting us. Y'all have a good night. Please remember to subscribe and happy eating. I was practicing.
Oh, okay.
Pause.
Go ahead.
I'm practicing.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome to our keto kitchen. My name is Frank. You know my wife.
Don't look at me.
She's
look at
behind
the
the
camera. Look
Her
at the
name is
camera,
Serena.
not at me.
I'm
See?
looking at.
I love you.
Hello, I'm Frank. My wife Serena's behind the camera. I am going to make a special pancakes for the family for this evening's dinner. It is called Keto Pancakes. It's made with almond flour, eggs, cream cheese, stevia, 2 packets, butter, and some baking powder. Now, when we get all these together, all these ingredients together, I will put them on the griddle and I will make breakfast for everybody. That being said, let us continue. Are you rolling?
Yes, I
Could
am.
you pause it for a second?
Okay.
Thank you. Please pause.